Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we go once more into the breach that is the 42 podcast. But we, as always, are discussing the late great human race and all of its failings. And from the first time since the last time, Mr. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Jacob?
I'm doing. It's not too bad.
You know, if we legalize marijuana and self-driving cars, the police won't have anything to do. We'll have to rebudget our complete society over it.
Oh, well, that's something kind of funny about Pennsylvania is only state police are allowed to have radar guns.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're
Wait,
not on a major highway, they can't pull you over for speeding.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Or a state boy would have to be on the side somewhere, right?
Right. Yes.
hmm So, what's happening in your world, Jacob? Did you
Uh,
die from the cold?
no, we survived the cold, and today it's starting to warm up a little bit. Like it's starting to feel maybe a little bit like spring. So hopefully I don't have to shovel my driveway anymore until next winter. 'Cause I'm
So,
getting
what was the coldest you had to deal with this year so far? Like even
mm,
at night, like even if you weren't outside in it, but just period.
right around -10.
How was it bad? How bad was it last week? Did you get a bunch of snow?
We did get a bunch of snow.
Right, like you were part of that winter storm that everybody was dealing with, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. I know it was one of those things where, like, the news was like 1 to 3 inches, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I really didn't think it was going to be that bad.
You're
And,
so you're so Oklahoma or Texan.
and I'm just like, okay, it's not going to be that big of a deal. 1 to 3 inches. They've said 1 to 3 inches before. It's been nothing, whatever, no big deal. So, I wake up and it's like 7 inches.
Damn.
So we're like plow, like because using our snow blower and our shovels and our salt and just trying to get our cars out. And it's early in the morning. It's like literally 2 degrees outside. It was, it was pretty bad. And it was just one of those things where I just wasn't ready for it, and so I was just pissed. I was like, son of a bitch, weather, go to hell. You just go right to hell, snow.
Hmm.
So how are you? How have you been since the last time we were here?
Oh, perfectly fine, I guess.
He says with such confidence.
Yeah, not much has happened this week. This was pretty much just one of those, get through it weeks, I guess. Down here in Texas, it just rained a lot and it got real cold.
Nice.
But at no point did it ever get to the point where it was freezing. So,
Hmm.
yeah, just
Yeah.
real shitty weather. You know, that kind of weather that gives you a cold.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was warm enough today. It was about 45 and sunny, so I went out and sat on my driveway and had a cigar and some scotch and just enjoyed being outdoors for the first time in 3 months. Like actually sitting outside for a while. It was nice. It's been a long time since I've been able to have a cigar.
hmm Oh yeah, I guess it's just been so miserable outside, huh?
Well, that and it's just
Too cold.
too cold to go out, and I just plus just haven't had it, or haven't really had the want to have one. But I pulled one. I have a very small little humidor. It holds like 5 cigars, and so I pulled one out and went and smoked, and it was really nice.
So you smoke cigars?
I do like cigars. I don't smoke them often, but I do enjoy them. They are very tasty.
Are you looking forward to getting Cubans legally?
Uh, no, not
Not
really.
that. Yeah.
It's one of those things, from what I understand and what I've read, is when the embargo first happened and Cuba went off limits, they were really the best in the world. But now that they've been behind the wall and uh, they're just not as good as they used to be. They're not the same quality, and a lot of the big Cuban manufacturers moved out during the revolution. So a lot of the big
Mm,
cigar manufacturers who were making cigars in Cuba moved to like Honduras or somewhere else. So I don't know. It's not really like I'll definitely smoke one, but it's not. They're not supposed to be all that great anymore.
right. hmm
Granted, I'm not a huge aficionado. I know them better than most people, but I'm not like, oh yeah, this is a You know, 2000. This is not one of those people who
Very
like.
nutsy taste.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Slight
not that
coffee
guy.
undertones. Yeah. Me neither.
Have you ever seen the people who like prank the like sommeliers who they'll tell them something about the wine that's not true, and then those sommeliers will actually go off of that and tell them what it's like what it is. Like they'll give them a white, they'll like food color a white wine to make it look like a
Hmm.
red wine, and they'll talk about the wine like it's a red wine.
Really?
Using all the adjectives, and they give them a white wine, they'll describe it completely differently, and it's the same. It was out of the same bottle.
Really?
Oh yeah. Or there's another video I saw of these people who went and bought McDonald's
Hmm.
and cut it up and made it look really like pleasing. And
Okay.
they took it to this like organic, food conference, and the foodies they were like, "Oh, this is so good. It's really flavorful. You can tell it's from a really good organic farm." All this bullshit. It's a fucking chicken nugget.
That's fucked up. That's funny. I wonder what that means. I wonder if the I wonder if we don't give enough credit to presentation.
I think it's exactly what that means.
Is that what that means, or
Most
is
people
it,
aren't like a
or does
lot.
it mean that the people's palates aren't actually developed like they think they are?
It's a lot of that. It's not exactly there. It's not as developed, and there's it's just the your brain will tell you things are there because of what it
Hmm.
thinks it should be in there instead of what's
Right.
actually in there. Uh, it's just like expectations. You expect something, so you kind of force yourself to taste it or hear it.
Did you see the dress that everybody's talking about? Since we're talking
Yes.
about this kind of the mind
Uh
thing,
huh.
what color was it to you?
Well, it was. I saw it as white and gold, but that's because it was like, but it was overexposed.
It doesn't matter whether it was overexposed or not, because what's really interesting is that I was looking at it. The night that it blew up, I'm sitting here and a friend is sitting here on her Facebook, and she's like, "What color is this?" And she shows it to me, and I'm like, "Blue and black." And she looks back at it, and she has this really puzzled look on her face, right? And then she goes, "Are you sure?" And she shows it back to me, and I go, "Yeah. I mean, it's a real shitty picture of a blue and black dress. That's exactly how I describe it, right?" And she goes, "It's white and gold to me." And then she shows it back to me again, and I have the same description, that same confused look on my face, like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, look, the description says it's white and gold to some people and blue and black to others." And I could not believe it. I was like, "No, there's just something wrong with your brain." And she wears glasses, right? And I was like, "Well, it has something to do with the polarization of your glasses versus the polarization of the screen lens on the phone." And then anywhere that I saw that anybody saw white and gold, they normally wore glasses. And I was like, "Well, I think it's probably has something to do with the glasses."
It could
And
be.
then what? And then the next day, I'm looking on Reddit, and my brain has no context to that picture the night before, right?
Right.
I'm just looking through stuff on Reddit, and I click on something, and it's that picture of the blue and black dress, but it's white and gold. It is white and gold, exactly like y'all see it. I know exactly how you see it. It's a fairly bright white
Hmm.
with a kind of shiny gold. It's like gold. It's not. It is definitely white and gold. And for half a second, I'm looking at it. My mind is going, "Oh, that's the dress," and then my mind remembered that I saw it in blue and black, and in front of my eyes, it changes to blue and black because it kind of like flashes, and I kind of get like a like out of a dream where you kind of see something for how it really is, and then all of a sudden it just you can't see it any other way,
Right.
and it just switched back to blue and black, and I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" So it really is something with where your eyes focus originally on the picture, your mind will generate the rest of the picture off that context. It's like one of those pictures that's where you stare at the little dot long enough and then it switches to a black and white photo, but it's color until you look around.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen those
Yeah.
optical illusions like that? I think it works something off that principle. But anyway, did your wife see it?
Yeah.
What color did she see?
White and gold.
Yeah, see, mine's all blue and black. It's weird though, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter posted it. Like they had the dress and they
Hmm.
had lit it on fire, and it said, "What color is it now, bitches?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
It's like, oh, internet, you just have to ruin everything.
Yeah, the internet. Yeah, the internet blew up over that
I
dress, dude,
know,
for
it
like
was
a day,
weird.
man. The whole
Like the
world
things
did.
that blow up on the internet, like the things that shouldn't blow up on the internet do, and the things that shouldn't don't.
Right.
Ugh. You see the video. What's that UFC fighter? The girl.
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah. Do you see what she did to the reporter?
Oh, that dude that was talking. He was kind of talking mess to her.
Yeah. He basically said that she was a really good fighter for a woman and couldn't hold her own against
Right.
a man, and then she
Because I'm
proceeded
bigger and
to
stronger than you.
judo throw him and crack 4 of his ribs.
It was funny though too, because he kind of grabs her, and there is a slight struggle because he is big and strong. So he kind of like is over the top of her, holding her, and she kind of like you kind of see her plant her foot and then kind of move her hips, and then she goes, "Hoo!" And then all of a sudden they just kind of go in the air, and she just it is the most devastating shoulder drop. She just slams him into the ground with his own weight, and then drives her shoulder in, and they like bounce back off the ground a little bit. It looked so painful.
What's funny is like that video has been starting to disappear from the internet, and I was thinking about like why is it disappearing? I'm like, oh right, that's evidence. Because if he wanted to, that is technically assault.
Well, no, I don't think it is.
Did he go?
I can't.
Did
I
he move
can't.
first?
Of course, there. It was a No, no. It was a It was an interview, like for like
Right.
a YouTube show or something, and they were
Mm,
sparring.
okay.
It was like, hey, let me and you wrestle, and let me show you, how strong I am, because I don't think girls are that strong or whatever. You're a good fighter for a girl, and you could see it. But I mean, I think in all realities, he's a comedian, and I think he was saying that stuff to get under, to get her goat and try to get her mad, and because it made good film,
It
which it
worked.
did. It made awesome film, but I don't think he was willing to actually pay for it with broken ribs.
Yeah. Yeah. That was. I mean, you don't ever just want to mess with someone like that. Someone who is as trained as she is.
No, she could whoop your ass, man. She could whoop most dudes' ass.
130 pounds of pure fury right there.
Man, and she's so intense when she walks out. I wonder if that stuff's real or if she's, hamming it up for the cameras and the whole theatrics of the show. Because it's such a dead stare and it looks forced almost. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she is about to go get the shit kicked out of her. I mean,
No, she's
someone,
not. She's gonna go kick somebody's ass
but you know,
in like
you have
13
to you
seconds.
have to go prepared to have just to beat have the ever loving shit beat out of you. Hopefully you still win, but you got to be prepared to be in a lot of pain by then in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those fake it till you make it kind of things. It's just like it at least helps produce the mindset that you want.
Right. Well,
You know.
right. And there's like when I was playing competitive sports, basketball and stuff in high school,
Hmm.
it was the same routine. This, I'm only a little stitious, just a little stitious, but it was the same shot progression for warm ups, everything, the same music, everything before a game. It just helped me get in that right mindset to be able to go and play and be ready.
Sorry about the kids tonight. They're being ridiculous. But this
Yeah.
time change just has everything screwed up, man.
Oh, it's so bright for so much longer.
Yeah, and it says 9 o'clock, but they think it's just now 7:51, not 8:51.
Right.
So it's difficult.
Yeah, they need to get rid of the time change. I don't know why it's still here. It's an
Yeah,
outdated thing.
like the Indian chief said, only the white men will cut a foot off the end of a blanket and sew it onto the front, and think they made the blanket longer. It's like, yeah, just leave the day, just set it and leave it. Either leave it like it is right now and never change the time again, or wait till we change the time and leave it like that. I don't really care, but just fucking leave it, man.
Yeah, the spring forward always messes me up. Like it always screws up my sleep pattern
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to bed a lot later and waking up later. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird pattern to
Yeah.
get into, and so it just takes forever for me. I hate it. I hate it so much. Sons of bitches. Sons of
Yeah,
bitches.
it's ridiculous. But we're talking about, a group of people that control the giant population of other people. They're going to make some weird laws like this all the time, I guess.
Yeah, I
At least this
suppose.
one doesn't really hurt anybody.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah, it's just annoying. There could be worse.
It
Yeah,
could
there
be.
is worse. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to check out that Star Trek episode I sent you?
No, I haven't.
Uh,
I have not. I've been busy. And you know me and video games. You
you
ever
just
heard
need to pull it out and just like just click through it a little bit to see the colors and stuff.
have you seen um you ever heard of a game called Stalker?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. Well, it's based off of where's that place in Russia that had the nuclear disaster? Chernobyl?
Chernobyl. Hmm.
So Chernobyl has a no man zone where you're not allowed to go because the radiation is so high.
Hmm.
But the radiation isn't really that terrible. You can go in there for a while before anything really bad happens to you. So the basis of this game is that bad guys and thieves and people on the run and fugitives have fled to the radiation zone because nobody's willing to go in there and get them out.
Hmm.
And in doing that, they found artifacts that like really high intensity parts of Chernobyl disaster radiation have caused these like I don't even know. The game doesn't really describe it very well, but they're just these different things that form out of these high radiation spots, and you can pick them up and use them. Some give you bulletproofness, or some give you resistance to radiation, or some give you where you can hold your breath longer. It's just a way to upgrade your character. It's a really fun game. But anyway, I got that, and it was made in like 2002 or 2004, so the graphics were not that good.
Hmm.
But there's a mod that updates it to modern day graphics.
Nice.
Oh my god, dude! It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. Anybody gets a
Yeah,
chance.
my wife's been playing Bioshock Infinite on the new rig.
Yeah?
It's
Beautiful.
everything turned up as high as it'll go and runs like a champ.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things about that game is that was one of the prettiest games I've ever played,
Hmm.
and it wasn't very hard on my machine.
That's just really good coding.
I could put it all the way up to ultra, and then my machine wouldn't get the how your fan on your computer has like three stages. It's like on, and then like medium, and then like trying to not
Turboprop.
burn down. Yeah. Well, on Bioshock Infinite, it never got to turbo.
Oh,
It would never
nice.
run it hard, and I could get 60, 70 frames, 80 frames out of it on ultra. So it was, yeah, and that game's
It
beautiful.
is a beautiful game.
And it's a fun game, even if it is a little bit of a rail kind of game where you just keep following the path that they
Hmm.
put out in front of you. It's still fun, still worth it. It's a beautiful story, and I enjoy it.
It's good. Like it. I really appreciate the after getting it. Never have before, but now we have water cooling. I really appreciate how good those things are. I,
Yeah, you keep trying to sell me on water cooling. You're probably going to do it if I ever build a new rig.
it's fantastic. It never get like the processor never gets above 40C. Even running like infinite and everything else is
Right,
it's since it runs so cool. The machine never gets really loud because
right.
all the other fans aren't having to work very hard. Like I think the fastest the fans have gotten is like 60% speed.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how do you like it? Was the investment worth it?
Oh,
Do you enjoy having that
absolutely.
kind of meeting? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Well, it's just something for especially how we consume media. It's
Mhm.
perfect. It's a big hard drive. It rips movies fast. I can rip and compress a Blu-ray in 30 to 40 minutes, depending. Um, it allows us to really use like the media server software and just my terabytes and terabytes of media. And it's just really nice to be able to just click it and it goes. It's like Netflix but faster.
Right, right.
So yeah, it's nice. It's we were gonna buy a game system anyway, so instead of spending the 350, 400 on Xbox One, you just put towards a bigger computer. And so that's what we did with that, and it was I think it's worth it.
So is there any regrets in not having an Xbox One though?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, almost every game you can get on Steam, especially now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there are very few games. I mean, exclusive titles aren't that big of a deal anymore. It's not like it was, you know,
The
10
last
years ago.
wave of games. Yeah. Well, even 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to exclusive games that matter, it's what like Metal Gear Solid.
No, it's
Is that,
Nintendo.
that's right. It's not exclusive anymore.
It's Nintendo. That's the only exclusive games. It's the Mario, the Zelda, the
Well, and Halo.
well, okay, yeah, yeah. And then, PlayStation 2 or PlayStation will release usually these one-offs. They don't have franchises that are exclusive, but they'll have one-offs like the Last of Us or whatever it was called
Mm. They have
and stuff like that.
Final Fantasy. That's their
That's true.
big. It's
That's true.
their big one. Which I don't know. I was never a fan. Maybe the older ones, like the older like Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, those were fun, but I really didn't care for the Final Fantasy games, which I know the internet's just gonna like jump all over me for saying that. I just wasn't a fan. They're not my type of game.
I never played them. So, they're going to be mad at me. But you were talking about Steam?
Uh huh.
Did you see like the big announcement from Steam this week?
Which one?
The HTC partnership with the Samsung and
Oh, the VR thing.
yes, man. That is awesome. Did you do any like research and look into it at
I
all?
haven't really had a chance.
Do you want me to give you like the gist?
Sure.
So this one has they're saying instant feedback and they're guaranteeing 0% motion sickness from lag. So if you move your head, you get instant feedback. There's not going to be any lag to give you the motion sickness.
Okay.
And they're achieving that with what they call a lighthouse. And it's a stand that sits in the middle of your room or in the corner, or however you set it up. I'm not exactly sure how you set it up yet. And it works a lot like the Kinects with a bunch of lasers,
Mm-hmm.
that shoot off. And then your headset has a bunch of lasers that shoot off, and they interact with each other. Or your headset and the lighthouse interact with themselves, right?
Right.
But in the process, the lighthouse is also mapping your entire room and can put it
Wow.
into a 360 degree in your environment. So it can put your environment into the video game. And then what is really revolutionary about this whole Steam thing is that Steam controller that they introduced a few years ago or about a year ago?
Yeah, with the Steam box.
Well, they have that controller, but they've also released their virtual headset controller. So take that Steam handset that they showed us a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
cut it in half, make it ergonomical like you've got two triggers in your hands, like you're holding two guns almost.
Right.
And then on the end of it, it's got these two little flat paddles that have lasers that shoot out. So it's interacting with the headset and the lighthouse. And then on these little triggers, you've got thumbsticks that let you move and drag.
That's the way to
And
do
then
it.
and then you can squeeze, which causes interaction, and then you've got triggers, which causes interaction. And then you've got buttons with your thumbs. So it's these two things. Those with the interacting with the virtual headset and the lighthouse, when you put your hands in front of you, because the lighthouse and the headset are using the lasers, they're going to be able to cross-reference like where your arms are. And you're going to be able to put your arms and your hands in the game, and you're going to be able to interact.
That's
With
cool.
zero lag headsets that's running on, I want to say they were going to do 1440, in both eyes. So you're going to get really high in resolution. I can't find the resolution that they intend on using. And have you seen what Samsung's doing?
With the like.
The Note 4 or the Galaxy S6? They're selling virtual reality headsets for those.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, man. Do you think this is a virtual reality wave that might actually take off and work?
I think this is it. If it's
Because don't they try it like every 15 years or so since we
It's
got
what
smart enough that we could do it?
yeah, and it's been always been right around the corner.
Right.
You know, we thought it was going to be the next big thing, but I think it's technology. It's getting small enough, which I think is
And light enough to wear on your head and move
right.
around.
And graphics processing is getting high enough that
I'm going to own the Valve one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
November.
It'll be interesting to see how it works with because you would think, how Oculus is doing, Oculus versus Valve and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. Because Sony's also rolling out a VR headset, and Valve will actually be the first to market, like consumer
Really?
market. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Oculus
a
isn't
Valve
consumer yet.
fan. Well, yeah, yeah. I'm a Valve fanboy.
Oh,
I've always been a big Valve fan.
oh, me too.
So
Ever since
I'm.
Half Life came out.
That's it, right?
Oh,
And then
so
I think Steam is one of the greatest inventions ever for the gaming community. So I'm just gonna follow Steam and do it that way. So hopefully it works out for me. But I'll also end up buying whatever works out.
whatever wins.
Yeah, whatever wins. But I'm also gonna be one of those guys who doesn't wait. I'm just gonna buy the first one that I can get my hands on.
I
I
thought
can't wait
about
to watch.
doing like if I could program it all, I would have bought an Oculus when they were doing their developer sale. If I could
I heard it
program on
was
that
worth it
level.
anyway. You don't even need to program; just the few programs they had made it worth it.
Yeah, it was. It's a cool device. It's a really cool device. I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah, I just heard it made you real motion sickness. Like it was real bad on everybody.
It has been. It's getting better. I didn't have any
Hmm.
issues, but I wasn't in it for too super long time. But maybe 5 minutes.
Hmm.
But I didn't
Hmm.
have an issue.
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's the future, man. This could be the reason we don't go to space.
No need to, huh?
Yeah, we could just go through in Star Trek. That video that you sent me, we could get it remastered into 3D virtual reality. You could be walking around the the different scenes.
Hmm.
How insane would that be? Be able to walk around the Well, fuck it. Who cares? This is just like a holodeck. We can just
Yeah.
do whatever we
Holograms,
wanted to do
bitches.
ever.
I heard someone say that I'll know I'm in the future when there are nanites,
Hmm.
like nanotechnology. That's when the future is really really here. When we get to the point to where robots can enter our bloodstream and repair our cells for us.
Yeah, Kurt's Wild stuff. Yeah,
Mm, like because they say that if they say it might happen in our lifetime,
could.
that like when nanites happen, like nanobots,
Hmm.
it'll be like 500, 600 year lifespans.
Yeah, you'll be able to hold your breath for 2 hours underwater because the nanites will reoxygenate your blood.
Hmm.
Stuff like that. Yeah, just ridiculous, unfathomable things. Yeah.
I just, I
I
just
can't
hope.
wait to see professional sports when we get nanites.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get rid of like all the juicing rules and stuff.
Yeah, just let them juice. Fuck it. Let's watch cyborgs play against each other. This is
Maybe
awesome.
it wouldn't like help advance their muscles. It would just they wouldn't get hurt as much.
And they heal every week. They're brand new.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Yeah, it
That
was.
would be cool. Your team never gets injured. That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting. And think
Hmm.
about how much players would be worth if you could sign them to like 100 year contract.
Oh, that's weird to even think.
So you're
Man, the future's fun.
he's gonna be playing in his prime from 200 to 300.
That's fun. No, from 24 to 124.
He's going to be a Houston Astro.
Oh,
A
that's
landmark deal, $1 billion contract. Granted, with some of the baseball contracts, it'd be because
2.9 billion.
some guys are making 30 a year. So yeah, it'd be like a $3 billion contract if it got extended over 100 years.
Wow, that's real money.
That's real money. I wonder what it's like to be like that. Like making that much money. Just
Oh, I, who knows? Who
more
knows?
money than I'll ever see in my entire life.
Yeah.
I remember someone did the math. Like 1 year, A Rod got paid like $9,000 a swing. Like every time he swung the bat was worth $9,000.
That's a pretty good gig if you can get it,
It's a
man.
good gig if you can get it. That's
That's a pretty
right.
good gig. We'll have to look into that next time.
Yeah, yeah. Next time I'll actually be an athlete,
Right.
and God won't curse me with terrible, terrible vision.
Poor Jacob. You had the drive and just couldn't see the balls.
I just couldn't see him.
Couldn't see it.
And then my body started giving out on me.
Well, you weren't very nice to it.
I
You were
wasn't.
mad that you couldn't see anything. So you threw it at stuff. It's like you're gonna learn where that thing is at.
Yeah, that was never fun.
Yeah,
But
you were a rollerblader, and you you were one of the crazy ones that you see on YouTube nowadays. Like if YouTube existed back then, man, it'd been cool to see you in the park in Oklahoma when you were jumping over the spine into the half pipe and then jumping onto the hand railing on the back.
mm-hmm.
It's like 9 feet off the ground, and you're just like stalled up there, and then jump back into the half pipe and stuff. That's pretty cool
Yeah,
stuff, dude.
when I decided to jump over the railing is when it got interesting. So
Yes,
so
yes.
I would drop in on a bank ramp, come in up a bank, transfer into a mini ramp, just pump as hard as I could, and then pop out, and I would go up. And the problem is, I would get up, and I'd barely clear the railing, and I guess the trajectory of the ramp was like it wasn't a curve. It was a sort of just a drop me off. So I
It
just
was it was
started
higher than
drop.
45 degrees, so you kind of
Yeah,
like barely made it over and then started to fall.
right. It's kind of like a golf ball that just goes and then it
Right.
just nosedives. And my
Mm-hmm.
knee swelled up so bad,
Jacob,
and I did it twice.
you're an idiot.
Hey, they remembered me though,
They did. That's why you did it.
because everyone's like, "Oh yeah," because like there's a couple of us who could do the stall and the rail, and we it was like, "Oh, that's old hat, no big deal." I was like, "Well, screw you guys. I'm gonna do something that no one's gonna try to do again." So I just as fast as I could, and oh man, blew up my knees many a time. I don't even want to know. Like I don't
Mm-mm.
even want to know. What sucks is it wasn't even all that good. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, not worth the damage.
It wasn't like John Mike or anybody like that.
Yeah. He actually had influence on the reason my son's named John Luke.
Oh yeah,
I liked his name. I liked him and his personality. So, didn't he go on to like make a bunch of money or
yeah. I heard he
be
played.
famous or something?
I heard he played bass in some country band that made it huge. I don't know who. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard.
That's cool, man. He was a fun dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you see the? This has just been an awesome week for gaming. But did you see that article about the Unreal
Uh,
Engine 4?
it's either like $80 or 5% of your profit,
Yeah.
which $80 for something like Unreal is insane. That those engines are incredible.
Mm, I'm trying to see if it says that. It may be a subscription fee.
Well, I know the Cry engine went subscription a while ago. But I was pretty sure that the Unreal was it was like basically $100 or 5% of revenue. Which that is one of those things where they're going to be like, okay, let's see if we just can't get someone to get lucky and get really rich off of our engine.
Well, yeah. I just was wondering if you saw it. I thought it was a cool thing to do.
Yeah, all the major engines now are very affordable,
Hmm.
like free or like $10 a month, $20 a month kind of thing, and that's going to be a big deal for games. It's going to be a big deal for games because
What
anyone can afford some of the best software in the world.
What does the engine actually do? Is it like an editor that allows you to make the levels and develop the characters and the models?
That it handles the physics. Um,
Mm.
I mean, I've never really played with the top tier engine, so I don't have a lot to tell you there. But it handles the physics, and that's a big part of it. I'm sure it handles a lot of like the bullet recognition of whether or not you're actually like hitting someone else or not. I'm sure it handles a whole lot of that. You don't have to code that kind of stuff in.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
told that like Unity, which is a free to use 3D engine, like you can just drag and drop stuff in the world and just start playing with it, like into the tester.
Wow. That
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
like apparently Unity is pretty easy to learn from what I understand. I've downloaded it. I've just never had time to really sit down and figure it out.
Yeah, that's where like something like Counter Strike comes from.
Counter
You know,
Strike.
a game like that. You know.
Well, that was Source.
Right, but that's my point is that somebody takes an engine and just takes a game and makes a real simple, basic game, but the just the core fundamentals of gameplay are so fucking good that it's a great game. You know.
Well, right, but like the thing, there were so many big games that were mods for Half Life.
Yeah, that's true.
Counter Strike, Team Fortress was originally a mod for
Really,
yeah, the original Team Fortress 1.
that's fun.
Then they redid it for Team Fortress 2 and Source. Uh, but yeah, there's so many games. It's crazy how like all these huge games are basically just mods of existing games. Because basic League and Dota are both based off the Warcraft 3 Dota.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The original Dota was a Warcraft 3 mod, and the guys who started League or were hired to start League were some of the original Dota modders.
Really, that's
Hmm.
so interesting.
And the guy who runs Dota now for for Valve was one of the modders who really did it. Like he dedicated himself to the game, to keeping it up, and he was the guy. I mean, he's still in charge of it.
I didn't know all that.
Mm-hmm. Like so, especially Valve does stuff like that a lot because like Portal, you remember Portal?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
It was a
yeah, yeah.
great game. Like they,
Great game.
it was originally like a tech demo that some college kids made up. But it was
Really?
so good, yeah, that they just hired him to make the game for Valve.
That's awesome. It's a great game, man. Portal 1 and Portal 2 both.
Portal makes me sick. I love it, but it makes me sick.
Portal 1's oh man, could you imagine Portal through a VR headset?
Oh, I threw up. Blah.
Blah. That would be so disorienting and I'm in. Sign me up, dude. I'm
Oh, I
down.
do it. Oh, it's coming too.
I know. That's why I just thought of it. That's why I got a little excited. You can see the smile. The smile is,
I know they've done Team Fortress 2 in on the Oculus, which is pretty awesome. Like they give him like the gun, you can run around. Like have one of those things they run around on.
I wonder how they're gonna do that in the future. Like, are we gonna have these big playrooms in our houses that allow us to interact with the? Are we gonna have holodecks? Just this room that's just this big giant blank room that we use to watch movies and interact with our TV shows and our video games with now. Where our living rooms just turn into a 20 by 20 blank cube.
Maybe it depends on if we get holograms to that level.
Not holograms, but just a VR headset room. Because the way the Valve Lighthouse works is you can walk around your room and it keeps track of where you are. So if you had this 20 by 20 cube that had nothing in it, you could walk around, and the way they're going to do it is if you walk up to a wall in your real life room,
Hmm.
they're going to put a grid up in front of you in the video game world so you won't walk into it. Or they're going to put a wall up in the video game world.
Nice.
So like you're going to be able to walk around your room and interact with the video game. So if you see what I'm saying? If you had this big
Right.
warehouse like
Hmm.
room, is that going to be the future? That'd be kind of cool if you ask me.
It probably will be, or like maybe if they do it to where the room moves and not you. Like imagine like a big hamster ball for like your house that you get in and you can run around and do everything in it,
Oh,
and the room moves,
I
but
just
you
imagine
don't.
the floor, right?
Yeah, like
Right. The walls stay where they are, but the floor moves in such a way that you kind of just stay in the middle the whole time.
right. And, if it's a ball, it can move every direction.
Fun. Fun. I'm excited. As a gamer, Well, anyway, I guess we've talked about this enough, but you can tell how excited I am about it, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm getting a Dota league started actually tomorrow. First first of its kind. It's individual, so you don't have to have a team.
Okay.
So what we do is Dota created a fantasy point system for like fantasy point or fantasy league Dota for
Mm-hmm.
like the big tournaments, so you could like draft players and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I modded some of those, and the this first test group, it'll be you have to play at least 3 games a week, and you take the average of your points, and the person with the highest average wins the week. And
Okay.
and it's it's one person versus one person the week, and whoever has the highest average of the two gets the point for the week.
Fun
Yeah, so hopefully, and
and clever.
if it works out, I'm gonna look at League and see how they do things, and maybe port it over into League as well. Because I
League
don't
is very popular.
League is very popular.
I mean, Dota's a big game, but League is huge.
It is. It's Dota is catching up to it though.
Mm-hmm.
Dota is really behind. It's really behind. Dota wasn't like a game until 2011, like an actual
Oh,
like product of Valve until 2011.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that till recently either. But in League has been. It's been its own product with its own team making money for since like 2009, 2008. So it's got a couple year head start.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Hmm. So but I don't know, as long until League starts putting out the kind of money that Dota's putting out. I don't think League is gonna stay at the top like it is unless it starts trying to catch up with, especially with something like the international.
Why is Valve putting some money into it?
Well, TI5, which was last year, total prize pool was 12 million dollars. First place got almost 5 million.
That's real money.
That's real money, and so
Yeah.
people go where the money is.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I want to play with you one night. We should do it.
Yeah.
You need to show me the ropes.
Oh well,
We can play some bot games and
I'm interested to see how the Blizzard foray into the MOBA world is gonna do. I can't remember the name of it.
like a Warcraft like MOBA.
Like um like Dota and League are MOBAs.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're gonna have a Warcraft style or
Heroes of the Storm. This is what it's being called.
interesting. Does it look good?
It looks really cool. It looks like it's going to be some kind of interest. Wow, this is interesting looking. I'll have to check it out. It looks like I got like the Kurgan. Got all sorts of Warcraft people in here.
Haha, they got a Murky. It's a Murloc. That's fun. Yeah. When does it come out? Does it say here?
I'm not sure when it comes out.
Doesn't say, I think.
It just the internet just says 2015.
Yeah.
But I know they've been doing betas every once in a while on Twitter. I'll see someone saying like, "I'm handing out, closed beta keys if anyone wants them." Just tweet me or something. They're
That'd
always
be
they're always gone in like 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yeah. That'd be so awesome.
Someone's got like alerts set for that. Like anywhere on Twitter, if anyone posts anything like that, it like shows up in their email and they're throwing shit at it.
Yeah. People are writing bot scripts and stuff to automatically send back yes, I want one.
You'll see a lot of time on like game stuff where people just like put Steam codes on Twitter. It's like whoever gets there first wins.
Oh, I bet that's kind of fun. There's some excitement to it.
Yeah.
Trying to type it in, before anybody else does, and and when you finally do succeed, there's got to be that sense of like, yes, I get a new game that I'll never play. I didn't even want
Ever.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun when like a big time person does it, like Will Wheaton or something. And so you have like a million people trying to do it at once. I'm sure Steam just fucking hates him.
Yeah, that's cool that Will Wheaton plays Steam, even though
Oh yeah, he's a big time gamer.
that's fun. That is cool.
Yeah, he's does a lot of tabletop. I know that.
Really, like the like Dungeons and Dragons RPG kind of tabletop games.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's
he even has
awesome.
a show on Geek and Sundry.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Geek and
I
Sundry.
didn't know
That's
that.
a cool. Like I don't watch a lot of their stuff, but like I really like Felicia Day and Will Wheaton. Way back, I've been watching Felicia Day since she was, in the like first season of the Guild.
Who's Felicia Day?
Have you not heard of Felicia Day or the Guild or anything like that?
Mm-mm. I don't think he kills it either.
You need it's. I think it's still on Netflix, but it was originally this web show that was all about this girl and her Warcraft addiction. And so, like, the entire season is like 45 minutes because they were originally like 5 minute webisodes. And it's
Oh,
really
okay.
funny, especially if, being into games and stuff, you would probably really enjoy it.
It's a comedy about being a World of Warcraft addict.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, she wrote it from her own experiences because she was an addict for a while.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. No, Felicia Day is pretty cool. She's done a lot of good stuff. Um, hmm.
So I was, just searching on the internet, and I came across what the internet shows is the top 100 movies. Well, it's actually top 250, but man, that's too many. But this is what Reddit thinks is the top. You want to go over the top 10?
Sure.
So what do you want to start at 10?
Yeah, just send me the link. Well,
Okay.
well,
Have
don't
you?
send me a link yet. Just read off. You'll read off. I'll react, and then send me the link for the show notes.
Okay, sure. Okay. We'll even see seen this one, but the Grand Budapest Hotel. Have you seen that yet?
Haven't seen it.
Me neither. But that's 10.
Okay.
I guess we can do some of the honorable mentions. So at 15 we have Toy Story.
Okay.
17 is The Matrix.
Cool.
Lord of the Rings is at 14.
That's too
Goodfellas
high
is
for that.
at Lord of the Rings. Oh,
Yeah.
Return of the King though.
I mean, it's really good, and it's
That's
really
the
like
third one
milestone. But I wouldn't go like 13th best movie in the history of
ever.
cinema.
hmm They put Goodfellas up there. So anyway, so here we go. Top 10. So 10 is Grand Budapest Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
9, The
Right.
Departed.
Part it's
The Martin
very good.
Scorsese.
Mm-hmm.
hmm 8, Inglorious Bastards.
That's just the internet sucking Tarantino's dick. Don't get me wrong; it's a really good
Ooh,
movie,
ooh, shots
but
fired. Shots fired, internet.
it's
What do you
not
tell
the
them what
it's
you
not the
think?
eighth greatest film in the history of ever.
He runs the email. I run the Twitter. Don't come at me. 42 podcast. Either at
Gmail.com. You can
Gmail,
see it at the
yeah,
bottom of the screen.
or at Twitter.
Right.
But it's
But you can also
40
see the
the
Twitter at the
word.
bottom of the screen right here.
Yeah, 40 the word, the number 2, and then podcast.
Yes.
Um 7, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. It's hard for me to not get fanboy about
This is the internet. This is what
it.
the internet said
Right.
is the top.
I know. But I'm trying to be objective here because I mean, Empire is one of the great movies. But if you're gonna like talk about, it is a great movie and it's the best Star Wars movie. Period. But it
Return of the
doesn't.
Jedi is great.
It is great, but it's not as good as Empire. Um,
I agree. I agree.
but
So that was
Star
7.
Wars is more important to cinema than Empire was. So,
Okay. Interesting. I could see that, I guess.
I mean, the original Star Wars is one of the most important films ever made because of what it did to cinema, the blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Because until Star Wars, there really wasn't blockbusters. I mean, until Star Wars, it was all about the real gritty film noir and
Right.
exploitation films, and
Mm-hmm.
theaters were kind of dying for the masses. And but Star Wars came out and it made all this money, and it was a film that anyone could go see. It was very important for film itself. I don't
And
think
didn't it
it.
kind of bring on the modern day
Oh,
sci-fi alien
absolutely.
world where it's instead of the Buck Rogers, Martian aliens, you had this entire universe of, you know, I guess it was, they're not as racist or whatever. You know what I mean? They all
Mm,
interact and they deal with each other, and you don't have just this one human master race like going across the universe, like beating everybody up. It was more of a just a community of different aliens, and it was kind of the first time you saw that, right? Or did you
right.
see it in Star Trek?
You saw it in Star Trek some,
Yeah.
but I don't think the Avengers happens without Star Wars.
Okay.
The whole this whole
Mm-hmm.
new this does not happen without Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Star Wars is 7,
Mm-hmm.
but that was Empire Strikes Back, so not the first one that we're talking about. I guess number 6 was the Lord of the Rings,
The
the
original.
Fellowship. Yep. Yep.
Again, good movie. It's not the sixth greatest, but it is a very important movie. Um,
It was a pretty big deal.
it was a very
You know,
big deal.
they shot all three at once.
Mm-hmm. And it was one
The
of the
amount of
first
money.
times. Yes, and it was one of the first times that like a trilogy was being done.
Mm-hmm.
And the books were always kind of deemed unfilmable in some
Right.
respects.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, very important. Like so, Star Wars. If like Star Wars happens, and then Lord of the Rings happens, which is a big thing, especially for sort of nerdy movies. And then the Harry Potter movies start, which Harry Potter, like them or not, are very important to cinema, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, it gave us some good things and some bad things, like splitting a book into two movies, which is complete bullshit. But
Yep.
because now everyone does it just to make more money. But
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think like The Hobbit was split into 3 movies to make money?
yeah, I mean,
Or
it's a
do you
200
get to
page
tell a better
book.
but do you get to tell a better story?
You do,
But it
but
has a lot of the addendums or whatever it is from that universe that weren't actually put into books anywhere.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the Hobbit movies. I think the last ones,
What would you think if they didn't name it The Hobbit? If they
it,
didn't named it something else and it wasn't supposed to be based off of that book?
well,
If it would have just been pre Lord of the Rings, that ring lore, you know what I mean?
right. I still don't think the movies are very good.
Oh,
They
okay.
they
I didn't see him.
they all run into the problem of the big thing is down the road, and we're not going to see it in this movie. And it's just, I don't know, they feel pointless for the most part.
Okay, interesting. I guess that makes sense though when you describe it that way, especially when if you've already seen what happens to the ring.
Right, and it's another thing where like, have you ever seen like like a trilogy, and the second movie just felt like a really long trailer for the third movie?
Yes,
Yes,
The Matrix is a good example.
yes. That
Hmm.
is the first two Hobbit movies to me. They're both 3 hour trailers for the last Hobbit movie.
Okay.
So like I said, not my thing. Like, and I really like the Lord of the Rings movies.
I could see Lord of the Rings being up here in like the top 10, 11, 12, but not 6. 6 is too high, like you said. Number 5 is Whiplash.
God,
I don't even know what that is.
I, what is Whiplash? I
Yep.
know I know this.
So number 4. So now
Hmm.
we're getting into like the real meat.
Right.
These last 4 spots, like they all better be just freaking awesome. So you want to try to guess at any of them?
Hmm. This is Reddit we're talking about. So, and
Hmm.
we've already done Star Wars.
Yeah, we did the Lord of the Rings. The Inglorious Bastards was in there. Stuff like Alien and Toy Story, those were in the top 15, 20.
Hmm.
The Matrix came in at 17.
Just because it's the internet, I want to say Fight Club.
Number 3, boom.
I can argue both sides of that. I can argue both sides of that argument, like why it should be number three and why it shouldn't be in the top 10. I can do both
Why
easily.
shouldn't it be in the top 10? I can't see that side of the argument at all.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's a cult movie for a reason. It's because we all watched it at the right time. If you kind
Right.
of take yourself out of being sort of an angsty teenager pissed off at the entire world, it loses a lot of its punch. Or if you're really happy with your life, it kind of loses its punch because, I mean, yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an excellent movie. It's filmed incredibly well, good script, all that stuff. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. Like,
Hmm.
but to be number three, I mean, that's it. To be number three, you need to be a touchstone. You need to be a watershed for cinema, and I don't see it that way. It's a great movie, and for what it did and how it impacted so many people, I can see it being in the top three, especially for people our age and younger.
Hmm.
But overall, in the 150 years of cinema, or 100 years, or however long it's been, um, I don't see it being that pinnacle type movie. The
Right.
Like the Wizard of Oz is more important to cinema than Fight Club,
Or even Back to the Future.
and even Back to the Future, which is a great
Right.
movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great trilogy. Like, they
Oh,
did it
yeah.
right. They did
Mhm.
that. They did that trilogy right.
Yeah, it was fun. Very fun.
All right. So what's
And there's a
number
bunch of
four?
Easter eggs and stuff in it. All right, so you hit number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, which we didn't go over yet, is The Dark Knight,
Oh.
which might have had the greatest acting performance in cinema ever in it.
Oh. Oh. The internet is going to jump out of my computer screen and kill me. I didn't think it was all that good.
The movie isn't that good.
I know I'm saying the
The,
acting performance. I don't.
the movie isn't that good.
I didn't. I
But the
did not
Joker
think
is
he
amazing.
deserved to win best actor. I did not think he
He
deserved.
he deserves to win the best actor forever. That was one of the best the Joker. Now your problem is you're probably a movie guy, right? And the movie was just so bad that you couldn't get over how bad the movie was, and the character you kept getting taken out of the movie. But
Maybe.
every time the character's on the screen, and it's just him, or it's just him and another person, and they're interacting, he really can draw you in almost instantly to this thing. This guy is fucking crazy.
I'll
Maybe I'm
have to
wrong.
give it another watch. But
It's
maybe you're right.
Watch it for just the character. But the movie itself definitely does not deserve to be in the number 4. Doesn't deserve. It's only
See, a
they're
lot of
only
people think of the
kissing ass.
Batman movies. That's the best one.
No, it only had the best Joker. The best one has the best, and this is where the internet's going to kill me. But I think the best Batman movie is the one with the Riddler and what was his name?
Oh,
Jim Carrey.
Batman. Batman Beyond? No, that's a TV show. It's a really good TV show. That's a TV
It
show.
is a good TV
Batman
show.
Forever.
Batman Forever. Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that one. But that's because I was a big fan of Jim Carrey the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just do a recap real fast. Grand Budapest, The Departed, number 8, Inglourious Bastards, Star Wars at 7, Empire Strikes Back, 6 was Lord of the Rings, 5 is Whiplash, 4 is Dark Knight, Fight Club it comes in at number 3, The Godfather comes in at number 2.
The Godfather. I've seen that movie one time, and I made the mistake of starting it at like 10 o'clock.
Oh,
So I need to go back and rewatch it before I give a definite feel for it. But I mean, granted, it was made at a different time, and blah blah
it
blah
doesn't
blah blah.
it doesn't
blah.
matter.
Like I
Go
just
back
felt,
and watch The
I felt like I
Godfather.
meandered a bit too much, but that was me.
You need a good strong glass of scotch. You need to, start it at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you're kind of awake and, you know, go ahead and three finger it and get a few drinks into you and kind of get into the mood and listen to the music and enjoy it for
The,
almost like a piece of art.
the music and the cinematography is fantastic.
Yes, enjoy the movie, the cinematography, the music, and then you'll slowly fall into the character. It's a great movie.
It is a
The
good
problem
movie.
is you need to watch the whole trilogy to really enjoy it. It's the second one that's so good.
Hmm.
When the sun comes into power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's awesome. So, any guesses at number one then?
Raging Bull.
No.
Hmm.
It's a good guess, but it's the internet.
Rocky.
Pulp Fiction.
Uh, Pulp Fiction is a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It is, and it does fit the bill for a touchstone watershed film. It really brought in the indie movies. It really just trying to change the course of history. Uh, you know, I'd have to look at the framing, but that's sort of when you start getting like the high concept, dialogue driven films
Hmm.
more. It's a very important movie.
Where
Greatest
you could
movie
have
of all
a
time, no, but I can see it being up there.
greatest movie of all time. What is the greatest movie of all time in your opinion then?
Oh God, I don't know. I know what everyone
Yeah.
says it is.
What do they say?
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane? I don't even think I've heard of that.
It's
Have you watched it?
I haven't. It's on my list.
Hmm. I saw somebody on Reddit the other day that finished watching the 1001 movies to watch before you die.
God,
Watched all 1000. Took him 10 years.
that's 100 films a year. That's a pretty big clip.
Made me think of you.
I would love to do something like that, but I'd really have to dedicate myself. Like that's so much cinema. And to actually sit down and watch it and not just put it on the background. But to
Hmm.
actually sit down and take it in, because it's so easy to like watch a movie but not really pay attention to it. So hopefully, if I were to do something like that, I'd be like, okay, I need like pad and paper and some beer. We're gonna watch this movie. We're gonna take notes. We're gonna talk about it later. Like if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it like a class.
You're going to do a podcast of it.
Yeah, basically.
Hmm. Which would be fun. That would be
Yeah.
fun.
One of my favorite podcasts is called Moving On, and it's about they talk about movies from 1999 or earlier.
Oh, fun.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones, especially when they get into movies like you really loved as a kid, because they're all the people in the podcast are around our age, and they're like, oh, I remember this movie being so much better, or they're like, or this movie really holds up, or something. It's really good. I enjoy it, and there's a lot of them, so you have plenty to choose from. Like a couple weeks ago, they did Star Trek First Contact.
Nice. I love that movie. I think it probably holds up okay, huh?
It does. It's probably the best next. Well, I don't think it probably is. I think it is the best next generation movie.
Movie. Hmm.
I Everyone will always tell me Star Trek 4 is the best or 2, but I've always been a fan of 6. Star Trek 6, the Undiscovered Country. Yeah, the one where Kirk. It's the last one. It's the last. It's one with the cloaking bird of prey.
Oh, yeah. And the
Yeah.
guy that's quoting
Mm,
Shakespeare the whole time.
yeah. I
Hmm.
love
And it's
that
got
movie.
who's the guy who plays Doc in Back to the Future? Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah.
He's the bad guy.
Right.
Great movie.
Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.
Yep. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Man, that's actually I've seen that fairly recently.
It's a good show.
It is
Great show.
good.
Love it. Good movie.
It's weird.
It's
It's I don't know. Tarantino is such a gifted
hmm
guy.
hmm
I wish he would kind of get away from the revenge fantasy stuff like he's been doing with his last two films
Right.
and get back into more just weird stuff because that's where he's really fun.
hmm
Or just he just makes you uncomfortable sometimes.
I wish he would do an anime.
That'd be interesting.
I wish Quentin Tarantino would make a Afro Samurai like anime. Like it's a cross between Afro Samurai and Samurai Jack, and it's a revenge story of this samurai walking across an apocalyptic universe, trying to cut this dude's head off. It'd be awesome.
Now that is a That's a show, Samurai Jack. That I went back and rewatched the first probably half of it.
Holds up.
It holds up, but it's not like I'm a little surprised it did as well as it did because it's very well regarded. Lots of kids loved it. But I was watching it. I don't think anyone says anything for the first 12 minutes of the first episode.
It's it really is. I don't know. They were bold. They did some stuff in their animation where they had people, write or direct episodes and send them in, and they were told to do them as an extreme and as I don't know, artsy as you wanted. So the episode where he's attacking the tower with the blind mice
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's said almost the whole time because it's all based off of being blind and being quiet and listening and his surroundings. That whole it's shot like a spaghetti western,
Yeah,
but it's
so
shot in a
good.
frozen field in the middle of a mountain with just this stone tower and a few trees. It's just that one is amazing. So I don't know. I can see why it was so successful, but I am surprised it was successful with kids.
Yeah,
But it goes to show you that kids don't need what you think they need, I think. There is something to be said about that visual stimulation of that high drama contrast animation. It was so much fun, with the swords because everything would go white, shing, and it would go
yeah.
still, and that noise, and then everything he'd slide in half and fall, and the blood would squirt. You knew what was happening. He was kicking
That show
ass.
is so violent.
Yeah, except he didn't kill. He didn't kill anything. He
Well,
destroyed machines.
that's true.
Everything
I,
was a robot.
Everything was a robot. Uh, yeah, the cool thing with the art style in that show was there were no hard lines. Like no one was outlined. Like the characters didn't have a black
Mm,
outline, and it was so everything flowed together. You poor
yeah, I love
kids,
that
those
show.
people who are like 10 years younger than me, you don't understand. Y'all got nothing. Your cartoons are terrible.
That's true. The generation of the SpongeBob cartoons.
Actually, I love SpongeBob. I
Right, but
love
but SpongeBob was created by somebody who was actually good and had a
yes.
a team of really smart, funny people. But the cartoon genre that it spawned, where the people that made the shows afterwards thought it was successful off of its stupidity.
Mm, yeah.
It's like trying to make a movie after it's like trying to make a Wayne's World movie. If you just watched it and you were just like, well, what's the formula here? Well, I think it's stupid humor, Bob. Well, let's do stupid humor. It's like, no, Wayne's World is funny because it's really, really intelligent, stupid humor.
Right. God, that's a
And
great movie. You want to talk about great movies? Like
Wayne's
the
World,
first Wayne's
party
World,
time.
like like
Swing,
perfect
swing.
timing. Like they had just
Party on, Wayne.
incredible comedic timing.
Party on, Garth.
Party on. Or another movie kind of in that vein that I always really liked was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My friend had a joke that was the funniest thing in Hollywood has said is someone saying also starring Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves is just Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or Ted. I don't care remember who he was, but he's always that character, and that's pretty much true. He is almost always that character.
Yep, even in the Matrix.
A little less stoned, but still.
Well, he was a little less surfer, but yeah, it was just like the grown-up version of that guy. The disillusioned, the one with responsibilities and bills and a shitty apartment. He was no longer living with his dad, so yeah. Somebody needs to make a fan fiction where they go in and they tie all of Keanu Reeves' movies together, where it's the same person.
Have Speaking of fan fictions, did you watch the Power Rangers fanfic that got made that blew up the internet?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it's like 15 minutes, and like apparently they've been sued like twice already. He's not trying to monetize it. It was a lot of money that I threw at it because it's got James Vanderbeek, Dawson from Dawson's Creek, um,
Really?
in it. Yeah, It's got Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica in it. Yeah, it's really good. It's I'll send you the link, but it's definitely worth watching. But it is long and it is not safe for work. It is very much not safe for work.
In what way? Cussing?
Cursing. There's no nudity, but there's definitely some sex. For something, they throw a lot in, and it's really really violent.
Okay, fun.
They throw a lot in there for oh, what am I thinking? They have a lot in there for 15 minutes. Let's see. Here you go. Now, when you have 14, 15 minutes, give that a watch because it's pretty awesome. It's like
Okay.
I would go see that movie. I would definitely go see that one.
So,
hmm
what's your big thought for the week, Jacob?
Big thought for the week. Oh, we're actually
Yeah,
pretty late into this podcast already. I didn't
I
realize.
know. That's why I just noticed it. I was watching the clock. I was like,
Okay, so this is
and I like this one, so I thought we wanted to give it some time.
yeah. Well, this came from because this week I was gonna buy a car and it got sold before I could get there, and I was really bummed out. And I started thinking about, I was like, why? I mean, in all things considered, this shouldn't affect me. Like, this should just be like, oh well, whatever, and move on. But like, I was like really bummed out. It took
Right.
me a couple hours to get over it, and so I started
Mm-hmm.
thinking about things like that, and like just irrational feelings, like
Pet peeves.
like exactly like pet peeves. Like, why, why are humans so irrational that we hate things that are nothing? They are literally nothing. Like, I hate when like my wife like click her fingernails. My mom
Mm-hmm.
does it too. Hate
Right.
it. Drives me nuts. I don't know why. Like, I c- there's so many worse things that people can do to me that don't bother me nearly as much
That
as
don't bother
that.
you. Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so I was like, why? Is it something like we picked up when we were little? Is it something we were told were bad, or because or some people don't like certain words, like moist or some like I've known people who really don't like to hear the word moist. I don't know why,
The
but
word
the
itself just
word
kind of bothers
it
them.
just bothers them.
Mm.
So my big thought is, or it's not really a thought, it's a question.
Mm-hmm.
What bothers you that shouldn't, and why? Like, what's the like? There's got to be. We all have them, and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, and we excuse so many things as just being a pet peeve, but maybe we shouldn't. Maybe racism, like some racism, is just a pet peeve. You know,
Really? Okay. So.
just it's just a thought. I'm not saying it's. I'm not trying
Mm-hmm.
to not
Mm-hmm.
trying
Right.
to
Right.
say
Right.
it's right. I'm just example.
It's a thought. Big thought. I know. Okay. So is this something that if it's done, that you have a really hard time not saying something about it?
Yeah, or just like it just grates
It
on you. Like
really annoys you.
it really annoys you.
You know when people drink,
Mm-hmm.
when they gulp, and I don't think most people even have. Some people don't have control over it. But it's like you swallow your spit all day long, and you don't gulp every time you swallow your spit. Can't you just have a drink and not make that sound? But
Right, but why like that sound? It shouldn't bother you. It really
mm-mm.
shouldn't, and
It
it
should not bother
does.
me at all, and it does.
So
Do
why?
you think it's a memory? You
What
think something happened when you were younger that you've kind of forgotten that your subconscious still remembers?
that it associated that sound or something with?
Or a memory of it, like you made that sound and somebody that you cared for got onto you about it and made it a big deal?
m-
So in your mind, you created one of those rules, like, okay, this is one of those rules of my life. You don't like that sound.
It could be. It could be sort of an order thing. Like, people like to order their lives in certain ways, and things that break that order are we don't like. So I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Like dipping potato chips, like double dipping. Like you've got like a bag of potato chips. It's you and your wife. You got a bag
Mhm.
of potato chips and you got a bowl of sauce, and you take a dip and you bite off a chip, and it's a big enough chip that you want another dip. But that double dipping makes your partner mad. It's like I put my dick in your mouth. Like, why are you worried about us sharing a fucking bowl of soup, like, or a salsa? Like, who cares? But I get annoyed. I'm like, hey, man, break the chip in half, then dip it, and then take that other half and dip it. Like, what's so hard about that? I don't want to share your fucking spit in the salsa. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I was just kissing her. I'll kiss her during the dinner. You know, like,
You probably wouldn't mind like if sharing a beer with her, like taking a sip of her beer or something.
or if I didn't see it. Like if you just got to dip every time I was looking away at something else, like, and I never noticed, you know what I mean? But what is that? I don't know. I don't have, I think it, for me, I think it would have to come from past memories
That's
because
where I'm kind
most of
of
my
coming
pet
down.
peeves, I think most of my pet peeves have an impression of an experience when I was younger. I think. I mean, I don't have the best memory, but I want to say that chips and dip I got yelled at when I was a kid, right? Like I got yelled at about that when I was a kid. So now that I'm older, I want to yell at people as that, as an adult. Like, hey, don't do that. Like it
It's
just kind
your
of,
turn to yell at people.
it could be, right? You got punished for something that you felt was unfair. You were treated unjust at some point. So now you're trying to
Even
exact
score.
you're trying to get your justice out of it. You're like, no, you too will pay. There's some arbitrary law of this universe where you can't make that red turn or,
Hmm.
turn on red lights or whatever it is. Or going through this express lane with 30 items instead of 25 like the sign says.
Oh, I hate that.
I
But
think
see,
at 20, so if the express lane says 20 items, when they get to the 20th item on the checkout thing, it just quits working. It just brings them up. It's like, oh, that's it. That's all you got.
I really want the super express lane. The I've only got two freaking items lane.
5 items or less.
There's so many times where I go to Walmart and I literally need like two things, and I spend twice as long waiting to check out as I do walking from the car into the store, getting what I need, and getting to the register.
They could call it the bachelor line. You can go to get your stuff quickly and meet men.
It would work. It would work.
Just
Sorry,
in line.
you were talking about your pet peeve, and you said chips and dip, and I just couldn't help but remember the chips and dip.
Okay, so what he is referring to right now for the people who are listening, there's a book out there that a camp that we went to would read quotes off. And it's a book of quotes of young children,
6-year-old, 7-year-old, something like that.
8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, right? And they ask them basic questions. And then they just write down the quotes like a kid say the darndest thing. Well, there's this quote. Let me see if I can't actually find the quote because I remember who said it. And I remember his name. It's Alan, age 9, chip and dip. But we at flagpole, the boys and the girls all stand in, I guess, with your cabins, and we would do what was it? Flag. We would do the salutes to the flag and say all that stuff.
Hmm.
So yep, I found it. Let me see if I can't bring it up real quick. But anyway, so we're up there, and every day they would read off a quote from this book. And the guys always have this, there's just this forever rivalry between the boys and the girls at this camp. And we always give each other a hard time, like Jesus was a man and stuff like that. And the girls, I can't remember any of the girls ones because they were kind of weak, but I'm sure they said stuff to us. But anyway, okay, so the question was on this day, how does a person decide who to marry? And Alan, age 9, you got to find somebody you like the same stuff with. Like if you like sports and she likes that you like sports, and it keeps the chips and dip coming. And it was hilarious. Everybody lost their minds, and we started this chant: chips and dip, chips and dip. It's this idea that everybody should bring you chips and dip.
They
And it
still
was
do it.
hilarious.
They still do it.
What's funny is that became a thing at camp. That is a chant now, chips and dip. If the girls like win at a contest, the guys will just start chanting chips and dip, chips and dip. Yeah, it's funny. It's a great book.
Oh, yes, the good times at camp.
Yeah, and when we say camp, we're referring to Kanakuk.
Yes, the
I don't
great.
even know how to pronounce it. but it's in Branson, Missouri.
Mhm.
And it's a what is that? A Christian sports camp?
Yeah, it's a Christian sports camp, which could be very non-sporty if you didn't want it to be.
Yeah, if you didn't want it to be, you could just spend a lot of time playing ultimate frisbee and dodgeball,
And if like,
golf, and
did you ever talk to the girls about all their electives? Like
no, do they have
they
goals?
had like dock fun and sun, pool fun and sun. They had like 3 or 4 classes where it's basically this is how you tan. It's like wow. At least boys have to run around.
That's fun. Camp's a great place though. If you have the money and you're of that faith, I recommend maybe looking into it and sending your kids there. It'll be in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
I got an interesting question for you.
All right.
For $1 million, would you shoot your friend in the knee? I mean the leg.
Oh no, not for 1 million.
What about 10? For 10 million, dude, I'll blow your knee off with a shotgun. I'll buy you a new knee for 100 grand or whatever it costs. Right? Probably. I'd probably shoot you. Your knees are bad anyway. You need new ones anyway.
Yeah, the recovery from that is terrible.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just shoot you with a 22, like in the side of the leg.
I mean, if it's, I mean, yeah, I mean, if it's not a big gun, I mean,
Your best friend.
right?
Best
But I
friend in
mean,
the
it's
leg.
what, like if you get by with a smaller caliber that's just gonna lodge up in the thigh and not do anything, then yeah, definitely. You know, we'll split it 50-50. You'll get a little bit more because you're taking the bullet. And
He's like, this might even be fun. So yeah, you're gonna get some money.
but you know, if they're talking like, a 45 kind of deal with hollow point ammo that's gonna shred the shit out of you, no, I'm not gonna do that to you.
Mm. I might shoot you in the leg for $1 million, Jake. If anybody out there has $1 million and they wanna, you might get shot in the leg, big. Just letting you know,
You have to find me first.
Jacob. You're my best friend. I know where you live. That's the point of the thing.
But if I know you're coming for me, and we can make it a reality show. Can Ryan find Jacob?
Ooh. I can't wait till we get virtual reality and we get to play each other in like Call of Duty in virtual reality. It's gonna be fun. Be able to play paintball with each other in real life.
Because everyone is thinking about it. Just porn.
Ah, you were gonna say it. I was just gonna leave it out the whole time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the porn. The 3D universe. That's gonna be fun.
Like they already have I think they already have stuff for it, like where you can be the opposite sex.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
I didn't know they even had VR porn yet. I guess they should have. I guess I should have known.
You should have known. Yeah, vrsexlab.com.
So that'll be a lot like having a time machine, allowing you to go back in time and do anybody that you want,
That'd be weird.
right? Because then you just make a virtual world of, Cleopatra or Genghis Khan or whatever, right?
Sorry, I just saw this and it was too weird not to click on. It's the autumn. It's robotic blowjob.
The Auto Blow 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks fun. Yeah, that'll definitely be show notes. Check that out.
And things always just get a little weird. VRtitties.com. That's another website. I mean, that's just straight to the point there. VR titties. That's not like, trying to beat around the bush. They're just like, yeah, titties.
So this Auto Blow, it's built to last. It fits every man. It's washable, interchangeable, reusable. 3 sizes of sleeves. Easy to clean. It plugs into the wall. Holy crap. So it has these.
How much is it? It's got to be like $250. if not more.
Let's see. More details. I'm clicking on stuff in this website. I feel really safe. Ooh. Oh, good guess. 379 or 279.
Because it looks pretty. I mean, it looks.
So if you imagine what a fleshlight looks like, if you took the inside of the sleeve, put two of those like Hindu pure prayer bracelets, and then tied that with a spring so it has a constant tension on that bracelet. It's constantly trying to be pulled tight against the sleeve of the thing. And then there's this machine that has this piston that goes up and down, and it moves those up and down on the sleeve. I guess simulating a blowjob?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. More like a hand job inside of a sleeve. But looks like it would get the job done. If this website listening and they want to send us one, we'll give a review. I'll try it. I'll take one.
You're not even like shameful about it. You're just like, whatever, just give it to me. I'll try it out.
Sure. Okay, I'll try it. I'll tell everybody how it works.
Try anything once, huh?
Fuck yeah. Life's too short, man. So if you had that virtual reality set and your wife was completely cool with it, and you had that VR toy that made it all work,
Uh-huh.
who do you do? I mean, we're talking like anybody, and we'll just go way out on a limb, and we've got really sophisticated like AI programs that make their personalities pretty real. So if you choose like Cleopatra, you get to do the goddess of Egypt that gives the best blowjobs in history.
Anyone in history?
Vanna White.
God, you know she's crazy. Oh, you just know she likes it dirty.
Right? Marilyn Monroe would be fun, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, people lost their lives over her.
Yeah.
I mean, she destroyed a couple men's lives.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The president included.
Oh, yeah. Would love to know all the terrible things that have actually happened at the White House.
Me too.
Not to like shame anybody, just because I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. That has to deal with kind of another question I had. If you were invisible for a week, what would you do?
Invisible for a week.
Mm-hmm.
What would
so
I
you could
do?
you could just walk straight onto an airplane, stand in the aisle, and go wherever you wanted, kind of invisible.
Can I phase through things as well, or am I still physical?
Nope, you're you. But you could just shadow somebody, and you don't set off anything. Like you're truly like out of phase with this reality. You don't set off any motion detectors or invisible to everything.
Invisible to everything.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go. You gotta go to the White House. You gotta go hang out and
The White House,
figure out what's
the
going.
Pentagon,
Yeah.
Area 51.
I don't know.
Dude, I want to know. I want to know. Are there aliens? What's up?
Anywhere in the world. I don't know. I actually think like the Kremlin would be more fun than the White House.
See what Putin's up to?
Mm-hmm. Or,
That'd be interesting.
oh man, where else? All the things there's a lot I'd like to do if I could just sit back.
The
and
Playboy Mansion?
Yeah. Maybe during a party. No. That's when you just go to like, some college dorm room if you want that kind of action.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, I think Area 51 though was kind of the one that I was really like, hell yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh no. Figure out a way to rob a casino.
The best one on Reddit, best answer on Reddit. I would go and pick up random people's pets and be like, "Thanks for looking after me, human. I can go now." And then I would be making UFO noises as I lifted them off into the air and stole them.
I like that. I would do that.
Just fuck with people.
Oh man, man, we're already hitting the hour and a half mark. Quick,
Mm-hmm.
quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, did I do the recommends?
No, you did not. What is your recommendation?
I was just thinking about it. What was it? Oh man. I thought I said it out loud. That's why I was. Damn it. Well, anyway, let's talk about something else. We have the Twitter, right?
Uh huh.
And that's 40 the word to the number in podcasts on
Hmm.
Twitter. If we just woke up and you had 1 million followers tomorrow, what's the first thing you would say?
Hmm. Oh man, part of me would just want to be super evil and be like, click this link and have it be like a virus or something.
Jacob. It just rickroll. It's just a rickroll.
Or just one of those things like, here you go, buy this product, or probably honestly probably just been like, hi. It's like,
You're like, what did I do to get all these followers? How drunk was I last night?
or just like the meme with that dog who's the you're awesome dog.
Many followers, much wow. Ooh. Uh, oh, you know about uTorrent? It's an
What?
application. uTorrent, the application that you can run on your computer that allows you to
Uh
torrent,
huh. Yeah. Yeah.
movies and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what they did this week?
Hmm.
They slipped in a Bitcoin miner. So now if you're running uTorrent, you're mining Bitcoins for the operators of uTorrent.
That's why I started running so fucking slow. Oh, that makes so much sense now. Like, I actually, like, I was having to, like, because that's what I used to use, and I did not like how it was performing.
Hmm.
And so I got rid of it.
You were mining Bitcoins.
Fuckers. I mean, smart, because, I mean, I don't even want to know how many active uTorrents there are. It's shady as fuck anyway. I mean, you are
Yeah,
doing something
right.
illegal, technically. So,
Yeah. Believe it or not, I've never torrented anything.
oh, God. I didn't, no, that's not true. I was about to say I didn't tour anything this week, but that's not true. There's two shows I really like to watch I can't get on Hulu. Like if they were on Hulu, I wouldn't torrent very much at all actually.
Yeah, what shows are they?
Big Bang Theory. That's just more of a I've been watching it since it premiered and I'm just invested.
Right.
I hate it. I hate watch it pretty hard. Like I hate watch it so hard.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there and I hate every moment of it, but I watch it every week. And the other is Elementary, which is a take on Sherlock Holmes
With Lucy Liu?
with Lucy Liu. It's fantastic.
Hmm.
And this is another thing that like, because I love both. Like Sherlock and Elementary, I think are both great shows. I know a lot of like purists are like, oh, Elementary sucks, but Elementary, in my opinion, is better than Sherlock. But it's hard to
Hmm.
like they're different because like Sherlock is basically three movies. That's the entire season, like 3 hour and a half long episodes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's an interesting way to do it.
right. And they're not very consistent because Benedict Cumberbatch and the other guy, he's in The Hobbit. Martin Freeman. Yeah, he. They're both they're both big movie actors, and so there'll be years in between seasons depending on how it goes.
Mm,
But I really like
that is
Elementary.
interesting.
I really like the Sherlock in Elementary. It's a different take on him. It's much more. He's super smart. He does all the Sherlock Holmes things, but he's much more real. It's much more human. Like he struggles with it. Like being that smart and being that observant is hard, and so he got into drugs to try it and help him not sense and understand everything that's going on all at once. And
Hmm.
so part of the show is him being a recovering heroin addict.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really?
If you want it, I'll send it over to you. I'll send you the first season.
I don't have enough time. I'm what I do now is if I'm not listening to Dresden, I'm playing video games. Or I'm looking at Reddit for stuff for the podcast and the
Maybe
what
if
we're
you
doing.
get Maybe when you get down with Dresden.
Okay, yeah. I finished another book.
Oh yeah, which one?
hmm Dead Rights or whatever it is.
Deadbeat.
Uh, Deadbeat, the one where the one with the dinosaur.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
That's a fun one.
that one's fucking good.
Are
It's
you?
intense to the end too.
Yeah. You ought to be. Let's see. Those are in order. Deadbeat. Proven. Oh, you're about to get to proven guilty. Your proven guilty is one of my favorites. Like I love proven guilty.
Yeah.
It's actually. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hand them back.
Hey, that was
Get
quick.
my headphones on right. It's
Well,
actually- see?
you got him.
So proven guilty. It's actually the one I got.
Oh, you got him to sign this one.
Yeah. See.
Very cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Uh, things get interesting. You learn a whole lot about the Carpenters. A whole lot about the Carpenters.
Okay. That's Michael's family.
Yes.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's good times. And it takes place at a convention, which is pretty awesome.
Okay. Even cooler. Yeah, I'll get that one done by next week.
Nice. God, you're just chewing through them. I did the same thing, but you are just chewing through them.
One a week. I did 2 or 3 the first week, and then I've gone to 1 a week after.
If you notice how like James Marshers is getting really good at being like he's really starting to act more than just read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought
Yep.
that listening to his progression was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And I've only heard him miss one edit out of the whole series, where he says something and he says it wrong, and he goes, "Shit." He goes, "It's the other word. Hang on, let me go back and I'll do it again." And he does it again, and they don't edit it out. I thought it was fun.
Good times, good times. Well, I kind of feel like we're running out of steam, and we've actually had a pretty brisk pace for this 90 minutes. So we just said go ahead and call it and
Okay.
say good night to everybody. Good night. Have a good one.
Good night. See you next week at the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Same bat time, same bat channel.